can always tell when a streak's going to come to an end. You win a couple of games, you probably shouldn't.
There are teams out there that could use that quality of playoff goaltending. All right, Ray, you ready to do this?
Yep, let's go.
Powered by Rev Media in partnership with TSN, it is Season 7 of the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast, presented by our title sponsor, Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons has kicked off the year with a brand new holiday meal available now through December 30th. When you order any flatbread pizza, plus your choice of a side, a small or medium hot or cold beverage, you also walk away with a free pair of novelty holiday socks. So whether you're craving something cozy, maybe you like something festive, it's a holiday meal that will warm you from head to toe. So check it out at your local Tim Hortons. How are you doing, Raymond? It looks like you're in a hotel room for our YouTube viewers in Denver, Colorado. Just a guess.
Yes, that's where we are today. Panthers and Avs. So my last game before Christmas. So I'm kind of excited about that. Then I get a couple of weeks off before my schedule starts to really pack in there and until the Olympics. So yeah, should be interesting tonight. Florida played last night in Utah, and they may be a tad weary to come in here, which is probably not too great since Colorado hasn't lost at home this year yet.
So you and I didn't meet yesterday, being Wednesday at Denver International Airport, but we kind of crossed paths because I was coming out of Colorado Springs where the board meetings were earlier this week. And as you've just established, you were coming from Vancouver into Denver. And for those who watch or listen to the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast, man, they don't obviously travel nearly as much as you or me, for that matter. Denver International is, it's something. I mean, it is a busy, bustling airport. But it's funny who you bump into. You and I text back and forth on this. The people that you bump into in airports. But Craig Bellington, who works for the Colorado Avalanche, was flying back to Toronto. So, I spent probably the better part of 25 minutes chit-chatting with Bellington, who's part of the goalie department of the Avalanche. And then as we're boarding, Owen Nolan shows up on the scene. And man, he looks good. It's just these names from the past that otherwise you wouldn't bump into unless you're at a hockey event, maybe Hall of Fame, whatever it is, right? But you must come across that all the time, given the amount of travel you do.
I do, because mostly scouts, the odd managers that, they're just running from one place to the other, and you catch somebody's eye, you're like, oh, I know him. Oh, and then you end up in a 10-minute conversation. One of the best parts of the business actually is to stay in touch with guys that maybe you didn't even really know, but you know of. Like Owen Nolan, for example, he was a prototypical what a power forward was at that time.
Oh boy.
He was big and mean, and he could play. He was a terrific player, and Billington was mostly a backup, but a backup for a long, long time. Real smart guy, clever. And you say that goaltending department. Remember, it wasn't too long ago that the goaltending department for most teams was a goalie coach. Yeah, and those days are long gone. And they have a department to work through developmentally with the guys they draft. They evaluate goalies around the league. Hell, it was just over a year ago, Colorado blew out both their goaltenders, Georgiev and Onanen, and brought in Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood. And, Billington would have had part of that evaluation of which goalies are we going to look after. And it's obviously pretty critical to have a department that can help develop these guys once you get them.
Right. And what a pair for the Colorado Avalanche now, no doubt about that. A personal question for you, Ray.
Okay.
Where are you with massages? Are you a massage guy?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, it's Thursday, and for the first time in my life, I'm going for a massage Friday morning.
Oh, you're going to love it.
Yeah,
You will
I'm not so
love it.
sure. I don't
Yes.
know.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? Depending on the type of massage, there's a 67% chance you fall asleep.
No, this one, I apparently
Are
I've
you getting?
got what is this? It's an adhesion, which I think the
Oh,
layman would call a knot,
yep.
in my back, left side, under my left shoulder blade, and it's been
Oh, that's
bugging me
going to be
for.
great. You're going to love it. You're going to come out of there and you're going to feel like somebody just beat on you with a hammer for 15 minutes in that one spot. But you'll feel better. I guarantee it. I love them.
Okay. Well, I'll report back. And by the way, we do have an update on the closet renovation, but it's only that it's nearing its end. By this time next week, we should have the full completion of the closet reno, and then you can bring Cammie up to speed on how
now,
that works.
Have you walked in and evaluated, or do you just keep the door closed?
No, I have evaluated, but the pocket doors are in. So the essence of the closet.
Hang on, sorry to interrupt. Do you even know what it's supposed to look like?
A closet?
No, the one that you're building. Or did Holly do all of that?
No, I did participate in the design. Okay. I've got a lot of suits, right? So I needed to have some input into that. Yeah.
So you mix up you mix up the dark gray with the light gray, right?
Oh yeah, it's mayhem. I counted, and this isn't bragging. This is just the reality of doing TV as much as we do. And I've donated dozens of suits over the years, right? My latest count when we unloaded that closet was 32. I have 32 suits.
It's crazy. You don't need 32 suits.
No. And
you know what? There is.
Go
story.
ahead.
I know we got a little overlap here. Sorry, but this is the greatest example of why 32 suits is an absolute abomination.
Okay.
Keith Jones was terrific on television. Terrific. Now the president of the Philadelphia Flyers. Just for something to do, he decided one year to see if anyone would notice if he wore one black jacket all year. So somehow a few of us picked up on it in December.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, you're on to me." He goes, "I've got one." And he would take it and throw it in the back seat of his car and then just grab it out the next day and go and it's not like I'm never on camera. I could wear two jackets all year and it wouldn't really matter if I changed up the ties because I'm not on camera much. The studio guys, like Jonesy was, like you are, you're on a lot.
Yeah.
He wore it. And then I think it was in March, somebody told him, go buy another bloody jacket and make it a different color. But he wore one jacket. I've donated I have 8. That's it. And that's about 6 too many. You 32, like Dregs, you wear gray, you wear gray, dark gray, light gray, medium gray. You mix it up with a black one. Ooh, that's a crazy stretch. I think you've got a brown one. And okay, that's all you need. Get a bunch of ties. Have 32 ties and 6 jackets. Your life will be better.
I hear you. And I've got another meeting with the fine people from Cloakroom later today, Thursday. So I've got another batch on its way eventually.
Color, please. Right. Color. Come on.
All right, let's get into the headlines brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Catch every game with the beer specials, game day prizes. There's so much more, all at the best hockey house in town. See in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com for details on what your local brewhouse is up to. And you know, Ray, we're 30 games into this regular season, and the last week has established a trend. You know, we're always looking for trends in the regular season.
What are they? What's the trend?
Well, we've got 4 hand pass rulings in 1 week, okay? The coaches are barking. We've heard that. Yeah. John Cooper called the call on Brandon Hagel, laughable. Dean Evison snapped after Brad Marchand appeared to catch the puck in a sequence that led to a goal against the Blue Jackets on Saturday. Tuesday, Lindy Ruff of the Buffalo Sabres shared his frustration after a Sabres goal was wiped out. And then finally, Wednesday night, second period, Chicago's Colton Dach falls behind the net. stops a loose puck. Mikheyev comes in. He grabs possession, throws it out into the slot for Ryan Donato, scores. That one seemed more cut and dried, right? That one looked like, okay, that's reviewable. Put the challenge out. Sullivan did, knocked out the goal. So is it just coincidence, as Commissioner Bettman said on Tuesday, the Board of Governors meetings, or is there more to it?
I think it's coincidence. I think it's a message from the universe to take a look at, we always hear, oh, the game's better than it's ever been, but that should never mean that you don't stop trying to make it better. So if a puck is batted out of the air, like batted out of the air, not what Doc did. He was sitting on his ass and he stopped the puck and Mikheyev passed it out. But if you're allowed a hand pass, what would change in the game? Like what, other than less whistles, what am I missing? Like if we think of this, what's the reason that you can't bat a puck to another player?
Yeah.
What is the reason? So what I'm saying is maybe it's kind of a message from the universe that the next time the GMs get together, guaranteed it'll go on the docket, but maybe it's a discussion.
Absolutely.
You can always tell when a streak's going to come to an end. You win a couple of games, you probably shouldn't.
There are teams out there that could use that quality of playoff goaltending. All right. Yeah.
A distinct kicking motion. There was not.
No.
If you can't look at that in 2 seconds and go kick or not, then it should count. But I think there's a couple of rules around the puck this way.
Right.
And the answer is probably they don't know. Like it's just been there. It just because it's there, but it's not a safety thing. Like we keep hearing about the reason you can't kick a puck into the net is for the safety of the goalies. Do you know when that rule was put in? When the goalies didn't wear masks. And so clearly it was a safety issue.
Yeah.
But there was a goal disallowed in Vancouver the other night. I was doing the game Atu Ratu. There was a shot and a rebound, and he used his skate, and it half looks like he's stopping, half looks like he's just kind of shoveling it with his foot.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't that goal count?
I don't know.
Because there certainly was not a distinct kicking motion. There was not.
No.
If you can't look at that in 2 seconds and go kick or not, then it should count. But I think there's a couple of rules around the puck play that need to be examined. And that the hand pass thing certainly is one. Hagel put up his hand so he didn't get hit in the face.
Right.
He didn't like, I get the spirit of the rule. Well, I don't get the spirit of the rule. I get the wording of the rule. I just don't. I just think it's something that should be visited and taken a peek at.
Yeah, and look, I connected with the Situation Room yesterday. Now, granted, that was prior to the Blackhawks-Rangers game. And the response I got is this. We've been consistent with our rulings on these, directions versus deflections. And the judgment component is, does the offensive team gain an advantage from the puck hitting the glove? Not all see it the same way, but we, being the Situation Room and all the attendants, are on the same page.
Oh, that's great. Fabulous. I'm glad they're on the same page. It's the wrong page. Like you can glove pass in your own zone, right?
Yeah.
But you can't in the offensive zone. Like, so why can't you glove pass it in the offensive zone?
Yeah.
What really is the difference? We have 4 plays that you brought up, and it is coincidental. They're all kind of clumped together for sure.
Yeah.
But why don't those goals count? to me, the only reason you wouldn't allow it is for safety, and or it would change the game. It would not change the game. The puck is not often shoulder high. The players are better than that. It's usually knee high, and you knock it down with your stick. So I don't know. I'm glad they're on the same page. I'm glad they all understand it. But I do think if you can glove pass it in one zone, you should glove pass it in the other.
Yeah, and as Bettman suggested, and you revisited, it will be on the agenda at the board of, or at the general managers meetings, and we'll see how. I mean, normally what happens is the managers will table it. They will say, okay, well, let's keep an eye on it for another season or whatever. And then ultimately it has to go to the competition committee and then get board approval. So it's a long process before they get to the point that you're at, Ray. The dark cloud hanging over the Winnipeg Jets seems to be moving a little bit, and not based on wins. Obviously, they're still a struggling team for a lot of different ways. The reason that dark cloud is drifting is because Connor Hellebuyck is back on the ice and pushing hard to get into the net in Winnipeg. He went from a light skate, some basic goalie movements, to actually taking shots. Now, they're not firing full practice bullets at this guy yesterday, being Wednesday. And the revisit on that is today, Thursday, see how he feels, monitor that for another day, see how he feels. I don't think it's impossible that he's back on the ice this weekend. More likely it'll be at some point next week, but he can't score goals. He can't generate offense, but man, historically speaking, he wins a lot of hockey games for Winnipeg.
He does. I mean, just from my own rehab of a knee surgery, a knee scope, is it goes along pretty well until you get to the unpredictability part of movement. So right now, the Jets can structure where the shots come from. He can get set. Everything is really stable and methodical. And then when he gets to a more full practice, the puck bounces around and you've got to react. Suddenly you don't have time to think, oh, I got to move to my right. You just move to your right. And so that'll be the next hurdle for him. But him in the net is obviously a major grade upgrade for their team. And it's like any team. If you've got a top 5 or 7 goalie in the league, top 10 goalie, and he's not there, no matter who's in the net, it's not going to be the same.
No. And, look, I mean, you guys are all fiercely competitive. You don't make it to the National Hockey League without that ingredient. But, this guy, he goes from a light skate earlier in the week to telling the coaches, the training staff, I feel great. I'm good to go.
Worst thing the trainers would ever do is listen to a player. I had a scope one year in LA, and we were in a playoff race. And so for me, it was really critical to get back. And I played 12 days after the scope. And so I felt great. And then after the game, my knee would blow up and they'd it would go in the back room. With a needle, you pull all the fluid out of your knee. I wouldn't practice the next day. Then I'd play the next day. And we'd do the same thing over again. But I was ready to play in my head. I mean, probably not the best idea as I look back, but you can't, the player will always, 99% choose to play. Yeah. And the trainers have to be the buffer.
Well, there's a blend of lots of things. We've talked about the competitiveness, that you have to have to be a player in the National Hockey League. And staying a bit on the goalie theme, you also have to have an abundance of confidence. So Spencer Knight records his second shutout of the season for the Chicago Blackhawks in that 3-0 win over the Rangers that we talked about earlier. Connor Bedard, a goal and an assist. Offensively, he just will not go away. So, of course, you love the confidence of youth, but I'm reminded of that, and staying with the goalie for just a moment, Knight allowed 6 goals on 32 shots in the 6-0 loss to LA, right? And so after the shutout win against the New York Rangers, he says, you know what? I really liked my game in LA. So I think the question was, it must feel good because you've got the bounce back effort here against the New York Rangers. And he corrected the reporter and said, no, yeah, well, I guess it looks like that, but I really liked my game in LA. 32 shots. That's a good amount of work, but he allowed 6 goals, but without that confidence, I guess is my point. Spencer Knight isn't having the year that he's having to this stage.
No, they're like pitchers. A guy will give up 6 runs and say, I threw the ball well, made a couple mistakes, but man, I threw the ball well. Yeah, you give up 3 home runs. And like they have to be able to plow through because they're on an island by them, right? They really are. And both goalies and pitchers, they're nobody can really understand or help out.
Right.
Like eventually you got to stop the puck. And if their self-confidence wavers, if they start to chip away at their own confidence, they're probably in trouble. Oh, by the way, I don't know where you're going to go next, but we're on the goalies.
Yeah.
Did you see the shootout, Colorado and Nashville the other day?
Yes. Yeah.
So
and
Ryan O'Reilly scores.
Yeah.
1-0 Nashville. Colorado misses. Philip Forsberg shoots for Nashville. He trips and runs over Scott Wedgwood.
Yes. Yeah.
Nashville shoots, or Colorado shoots, they don't score. Nashville shoots, they don't score. Then there's a meeting at the penalty box, and the concussion spotter now has pulled Wedgwood. He's standing in the net with his arms in the air, like, what the hell is going on? Blackwood has been sitting in his ball hat since 7:00.
That's a tough one.
And so Wedgwood has to come out of the game for the concussion spotter. Landeskog has to shoot. So there's a little delay while Blackwood, they get him his mask. He throws his mask on. He goes in the net, and Landeskog misses, so it doesn't matter. But there's no warm-up.
That's tough.
He's just but what happens if he goes in, and if I'm the next shooter, I'm deking him for sure.
Oh yeah, get him moving. Yeah.
Yeah, and what if he pulls a groin? So if Wedgwood's no good to face the 4th shot, why was he okay to face the 3rd shot?
Right.
I found the whole thing ludicrous. That what was the spotter doing? Like, if he's going to pull him out of the game, like, you got to pull him right away.
And now, obviously, he saw something after the 3rd attempt, between the 3rd and the 4th, some movement, gesture, something like that.
Well, I don't have an answer, but the whole scenario of it was goofy because if he's going to pull him out, like, does Blackwood not deserve the opportunity to take 5 or 7 shots? Like, just to. I
didn't know that. I didn't realize that you wouldn't. In that scenario, it makes perfect sense. You'd have to have a bit of a warm-up.
I thought he should, if he had to face a shot, he would probably look like a 1976 goalie, the stand-up. And you just kind of...
John Garrett.
You just stand there and trying to move your toe out to the right or something. But it was a wild... If Landeskog scored, he would have had to face shots.
I think we've been watching Patrick Kane in terms of his march towards history for a while now, right? So he collects 2 points in the game Detroit versus Calgary. So Kane
Did he score?
Or
did he get 2 assists? Sorry.
No, 2 assists. 2 assists.
2 assists, yeah.
So he's 11 points shy of breaking the American-born record, occupied by Mike Modano, of course, right? For most points by an American-born player. But he's also 3 goals shy of 500. And this isn't my point. I'm not suggesting that this seems to be more quiet than it should be, but it kind of does feel like that. I mean, it's Patrick Kane, for heaven's sake. I mean, this is a decorated NHL star.
Yeah, I just know his numbers because I got to do a Detroit game. They were in Vancouver this past week, and you look at the the historical ranks of where he is, and certainly among U.S.-born players. And
yeah,
I mean, he's the greatest U.S.-born player, is he not?
Yeah. Which is saying a lot because there's been some really good ones.
You know what? He needs 2 goals, and I know this because it was in we didn't use it in the broadcast, but it's there.
Yeah.
He needs 2 goals to have the most goals of anyone without a shorthanded goal in his career. And right now the record is Jean Beliveau. So Jean Beliveau's first and Patrick Kane is second. Now, the reason this thing came up is I don't know who is third. Steve Thomas is fourth.
Okay.
And I'm fifth.
Oh.
And David Pastrnak is sixth. And I'm like, how does Pastrnak not have a shorthanded goal? How does Patrick Kane not have one? He got one, he said, in the playoffs, but they were shorthanded. The other team pulled the goalie. He came out of the penalty box and shot it in the empty net. And so, so that's his, but he's never had one. And I just find that really kind of crazy that somewhere he wouldn't have, I don't know, had come out on the ice with 10 seconds left shorthanded and scored. It seems like it probably would have happened, but I guess not.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up the Canadian Brewhouse headlines. We couldn't go through another edition of headlines without some sort of Olympic-related content, much to your chagrin. But we're not chewing on anything really. I don't think we talked about it earlier this week. I love the NBC promo with John Hamm. I think it's awesome. Where he says obviously going to Milan to bring home the biggest prize of all, and then Eichel chirps, "Yeah, Canadian tears." I mean, you've seen it, right?
It's good stuff.
It's tremendous.
And by the way, John Hamm is awesome in the way he supports the game whenever they ask him to do it, and he's great. Like, he's awesome on camera. If you haven't seen Landman, he's awesome. Monty is awesome, but he
tremendous.
It's a really good ad, really good. We're getting close, and you say, we're another update. So I'm doing this game today, and I look, and there's at least 14 players in this game that are going to be in the Olympics today. So I'm like, holy, that's like crazy that there'd be so many. So for all the players that get 3 weeks off, there's going to be a whole bunch that don't get anything. Yeah. And these two teams are going to bear a brunt of it.
Yeah, and just back to the promo for a moment. I wanted to credit USA Hockey. Well, you have to give them credit because of the guys that participated in the promo. And I mean, you're talking about the biggest name stars. And I thought, just because I like to poke the bear occasionally, I thought, I'm going to check with Hockey Canada and see if they found it amusing, the group there. And everybody loves it. I mean, because it's good natured. Obviously it's tongue in cheek, but yet I can't envision maybe McKinnon and Crosby, because we're so used to the Tim Hortons commercials and how great Crosby and McKinnon are with that sort of deadpan sense of humor. But I mean, again, NBC did good work on that. Okay, final thing. All right. Have you looked at the schedule for the Olympic Games? Hockey schedule.
Yeah.
The gold medal game is scheduled for 2:10 local.
Okay.
So that's 8:10 a.m. Eastern, 5:10 a.m. Pacific time.
Yep.
Does that work for you? Are you good with that?
Well, I'd say 5:10's a little early. I mean, I can always tape it. Do you remember in Nagano?
Yeah.
It was not as easy to get the games. I was playing for the Kings, and we met. One of the guys we knew had a sports bar, and we met at his sports bar at I don't know what time it was, 5:30 in the morning or something. And that's where I watched the shootout. So they're not too worried about, well, they are worried. I mean, they want to get it in the best slot they can, but how late could you start the game? Right?
Yeah,
just so I don't have to watch it in my pajamas. It's the way it goes.
It does. It is, but I don't think it was brought up at the Board of Governors meetings. But I think it was just declared because you can go online and look at the schedule, and the gold medal game and its time is there. Sometimes historically it would be a TBD, to be determined, and away you go. And I don't know that any of the owners were upset or frustrated by it. I think that a few were surprised because network TV drives everything in sports, right?
Well, then they shouldn't have been surprised because it's not a hockey tournament. It's the Olympics. There's lots of things to schedule around, and that's just the way it goes. And we look at it like, oh, it's Canada and the US. Well, it might not be.
Yeah,
right.
That's
like,
fair.
That's
fair.
So it's just a tournament. They got to slot the games. Hell, they'll probably have the rink finished by then.
Well, it has been delayed a couple of weeks. The IOZ reps acknowledged that yesterday, but
it's only been delayed by a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, they're gunning for a full test event January 9, 10, 11. But I will tell you this, and you will appreciate it. I mean, the only fear of the NHLPA pulling out is if the ice is absolute garbage and there's a legit safety factor, an issue there, right?
Of course.
But you know this as a player. You know, somebody from the Players Association shared this with me yesterday. They don't know how good, bad, or otherwise the ice is going to be. That's what the testing event is for in January. However, 0 players are talking about it. They're not worried about it. They don't care. They're going to the Olympics. Like, it's just, and you'd be the same, right? You'd be the same.
But there is, for sure, because there's nothing you can do about it. Now, if they get a report back on January 10th that when
it's lousy.
When the team skated out, they were punching holes in the ice, then they got something to think about.
Yeah.
But right now there is nothing to think about. You know, like I mean, they shouldn't be in this position, but they are. And in the meantime, there's nothing to really think about other than you hope you get selected to the team. You know what? The guys will start worrying about it on January 2nd.
Yeah.
When the teams have been picked and then whether it affects you or not.
Right. All right. Those are the headlines. Thank you to the Canadian Brewhouse. And now we shift over to Ask Ray and Dregs Anything. And how about this segue about to hit you, Ray? Okay. We're bringing in Ryan Rashog, the president of Rev Media, who somewhat behind your back came to me with a text question. Do you think it's a better idea, rather than Ray and Dregs, Ray Ferraro, Darren Dreger, presenting our projected Team Canada, Team USA, Olympic teams as a combined Ray and Dregs? Is it a better idea for Ray, you do your 2 teams individually, Dregs, you supply your 2 rosters individually, and then we've got good juicy debate in the podcast? He didn't send that to you. He sent it to me. I just ignored it.
I'm sure if that's what Ryan wants, that's the way it, I mean, the passive aggressive way to do it. Sure. That's okay, Ryan. Yeah, we could do it that way if you want, but if you don't want, but I don't know. What do you want? You in the middle there. What do you want?
See, this is the thing. Dregs has always warned me, be very careful what you take to Ray because he might
because I don't like stupidity.
So any ideas you have to come to me first to put through my Ray filter to decide if we can take it to Ray or not. So he's handling you. He's managing you.
This 3 sitting here was not my idea.
Somebody invited me at some point to do this. I don't remember when it happened.
What happened? How did this even happen?
I don't know, but it's great. I love it. It's great.
I think if it was a sponsored segment, Ray, it would just be 2 people, not 3.
There you go.
But that's not for you or I. That's not for you or I, is it? I mean, isn't that for somebody else? Yeah, okay.
No, that's us.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're on it. By the way, you guys were talking about the ice. The players are talking about it. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk were talking about it on their podcast yesterday, and they basically said, we could care less what the ice looks like. We'll skate through sludge and gravel, and like we are playing at these Olympics. Yeah. So, the perspective from the Chuckies there. Okay, thanks to everybody that sent in some questions. We got a few hockey related, a little bit otherwise. Neil Dubeck is asking, what do the Jets have to do to turn things around? Should they play for draft placement this year. I feel like a wild card spot or a wild card playoff seed, which is likely the best they'll do, and a round one exit against Colorado would be disastrous. Can't have another first-round exit. I know that's not real. Of course, they're going to keep playing, Ray, but how should the Winnipeg Jets be viewing their chances this year and how aggressive to be about it?
Well, I play for draft position. How are you going to do that? I mean, the only way you play for draft position is you look at all your good players and start trading them away. Like or are you trying to go down by 5 spots or, right? Like the league is too close for that to even be a consideration unless you're starting to really drop away, right? Yeah. Like that's a completely different boat than Winnipeg's in. He says another first round exit. They were in the second round last year, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Like if you get in and why can't you win 4 games? The regular season is a battle of attrition and the playoffs are not. The playoffs are a sprint. And so if you get a wild card and you end up with Colorado, well, that's the way it goes. Maybe you don't want to play Colorado, but the alternative is you play nobody and you draft in the middle of the pack because they're going to be in that 15 to 20 range if they miss, right? They're going to it's not like they're going to finish 29th. So you aggressive, try and improve your team, but you can't blow out the future. I don't think they're in that position either.
No, and when we look at Winnipeg, traditionally they've always been a good, well-defended, heavier team. They're not fast, and they got slower, to be fair. I mean, Nick Ehlers going to Carolina makes them slower. Appleton makes them slower. And injuries, can't use that as an excuse, but you watch Adam Lowry play, he's still not up to speed. He's not, coming off injury. I'd say the same thing at Cole Perfetti with the high ankle sprain. And then you lose Connor Hellebuyck for better than a month. I mean, there are a lot of factors here.
Well, but here's another one. And you got Jonathan Taves, who hasn't played in 2 years. Like all these things add up to a first half that they're just trying to hold their head above water here right now.
Agreed.
Yeah, they were through Edmonton not too long ago, and man, was it rough. To your guys' point, they look really sluggish. Okay, hello, gentlemen. Was recently reading an article in The Athletic about who in the NHL has the most punchable face. They claim to have spoken to 120 active players. Nick Cousins and Brad Marchand were the runaway winners. My question is, how would those players feel about their peers saying this about them? There were even some fairly harsh quotes as to why their faces were so infinitely punchable. Is it a point of pride or just kind of mean? Ray, how would you have felt if this happened to you when you played? Love the show, from Dan in Hamilton.
I would have been disappointed not to be on the list. It would have like Nick Cousins. If you watch Nick Cousins play, you're like, oh my God, he would drive everyone crazy.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand is, for 15 years, has been an elite rage baiter. He has everyone in a rage around him. It is. Did you see what he did against Columbus the other night? They call a timeout. They're drawing on the board, and Marchand skates over and sticks his face into their huddle to see what they're drawing on the board.
Awesome.
It was amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, of course he's on that list. I don't think the guys would be like, nah, good. It means I'm doing my job. I think I would have been happy to be on it.
Marchand would love it. No question about that. And to your point, he'd be deeply offended if he wasn't top 3 for sure. As you're talking, I'm thinking historically, and I would never have this level of toughness, but if I'd played in that era, it would have been Darcy Tucker. And the only reason is because, he always had the crazy eyes, but it wouldn't be because I thought that I'd be tougher than Tucker. That's ridiculous. I just feel like if you knew he was about to snap and you just throat punched him or did something, he'd lose his mind and get about 18 minutes in penalties and you'd win on the power play.
Yeah, he would have been on that list for sure. He was really good at it.
I'm going to nominate another fellow Blazer alumni in Tyson Nash. I feel like that's a guy too.
Another good one.
He's a good buddy. I'm not ripping him. It's
but
I think he would be a point of pride for him.
Yeah, he would be there. He was giving it to, I'm not going to say who, he was giving it to one of our teammates. And, he's in St. Louis at the time. He's yelling across the bench. And my teammate goes, I hope you got a picture of yourself tonight. And Nasher's like, what do you mean? He goes, you're never going to wear that jersey again. You stink. And I was like, oh my God, that was so good. It was so good. And Nasher kind of went,
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, good one. And Nani moved on.
What do you do?
So, yeah,
just got to give it up. All right, last one. This one comes off the ice a little bit. This is from Fred Rapp, says, kids at school. Fellas, this might be more prevalent in Canadian cities, but did you or any of your teammates' children take any guff from fellow classmates because of what might have been happening with the team, especially after a bad game? Really enjoy the podcast and your insight. That's Fred Rapp from Lancaster, CA, says he's a Kings fan since 1971. Ever make its way off ice to the kids at school or anything like that, Ray?
Not that they said to me. I didn't. No, I don't think so. I have, my younger guys, they'll, or actually even my older guys, somebody will say, geez, your dad said something stupid on TV or whatever. But I hear more about that or they didn't I would always get, the kids would hear about, your dad's always ripping me on EA Sports. They think I'm watching the game. I recorded that in the sound booth in August. I don't know. But anyway, that's what they would hear. Not when I was playing. I think the coaches' kids probably get it more. I think if there was going to be some, teasing or whatever, I think that kind of feels like that's where it would be.
Dregs, anything with you? Mace coming home with anything, people chirping you for what you said on SportsCenter?
No, but yeah, all the time. I mean, I don't even read my comments anymore on social media for a myriad of reasons. But from a hockey perspective, this goes way back in the history books. It was minor hockey, and I don't recall if it was bantam or whatever, but I grew up on a farm, probably about 20 minutes or so from Langenburg, Saskatchewan, which is where I went to school. But because of the residency,
where's Langenburg? 20 miles from where?
20 miles from, what do you mean? From my farm.
Yeah, but then, okay, and then once you get to Langenburg, if you drive 20 miles. Oh, Spy Hill, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
which is 20 minutes, 20 miles from.
Yeah, and where's Spy
goes
Spy
on
Hill,
and on.
20 miles from where?
See, we're going to get chirped for all this. Anyway, there are residency rules, which, what do I care? What do I know about? And we almost got kicked out of provincials because I played and they submitted the roster and broke residency rules. So the next day at school, for a week, it was my fault. I think we had to forfeit a game, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Terrible.
Just to get you in the lineup
on the roster.
No,
Jesus.
No, trust me. I didn't play when they resumed the series. I was not allowed to play, and that actually helped them, I think, win the series.
Help the cause. That's funny. Well, thanks for the question, Fred. But the modern day version of that would be, so for me, I've got nephews. They're all in their 20s. My boys in their 20s. And one of their favorite things to do at family gatherings will be sitting around is they'll jump into my mentions and start reading out my mentions to the family and to me. And
that's awesome.
I don't know if you guys know what it's like covering the Oilers, but it can get a little gritty now and then. Yeah. And I'm not convinced that it isn't one or two of them that have their own ghost account that are in there giving it to me worse than anybody else. So that would be the modern day version of that. That's Ask Ray and Dregs Anything. We thank everybody for the contributions. We'll send out a tweet once a week you can respond to with your questions, or you can hit us up on our website via email as well. So fire them in. And next week, it'll be an interesting one, guys, because we are going to do those Olympic preview rosters. So looking forward to that in whatever form they take. Up to you guys. You're the bosses. I'm merely the president of the company. So whatever you guys want.
Well, how about have some direction? That's what leadership is.
Okay. If you promise to take it, I will provide it.
Make sure it's the right direction, however.
Yeah. All right.
See you guys.
See you, Ryan. Thanks, man.
All right, let's check in now on our Tim's Hockey Challenge. And we go from Ryan Rashog to Chris Samunia, who's here to spread some good holiday cheer as we drift deeply into the holiday season. And I'm feeling pretty solid. I'm feeling pretty good, Zuby.
You should.
Team Dregs looking crisp.
Yeah, we had this discussion, of course, last week of who we were, or on Tuesday rather, of who we were picking for that night. And as soon as I started flipping through scores that night, I thought, "Oh, Dregs is having a good night," because you had. Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Zuby, I looked through and I went, the first name I saw was Drake Batherson. I'm like, oh my God, Drake's picked him for the 43rd time this year and he scored again.
Yeah. Drake Batherson came through for Dregs. Who else did you have? Connor McDavid, of course. So Dregs went 2 for 3 to extend his lead atop the standings. He's 20 for 51, 500 points. Ray, who did you have? Ray, I got your picks for today.
I had McDavid.
You had McDavid also. Shager and
1 for 3.
So Ray got 1 for 3. He's 17 for 51. 3 choices behind Dregs. Shager and I each got 1, and it was the least likely one from the third bucket. Shager and I each had Vasily Podkolzin come through for us in that third bucket. Now, I'll tell you that. So only 1 for me, but kept my streak. I'm on a 6-day one. If I get one tonight, close. Free coffee. If I get one tonight, free coffee from Tim's. And I made my picks for tonight too. So this is very.
Did you?
Yeah. This is very this is important now. This isn't just
get it right,
the
Zuby.
daily.
Get it right.
So who did I got Cutter Gauthier, I got John Tavares and Noah Dobson. Those are my 3 choices. Full slate of games on deck tonight. So we'll keep all of our.
I'm not even sure who I took. I took Matthews for sure. Oh, and then I doubled down on the Winnipeg Jets with Iafallo and Velarde. That's what I did.
Yeah. I have William Nylander, Vander Kane, and Gabe Velarde. Gabe sticks out like a sore thumb in that third bucket.
Weird one. Yeah, weird. Yeah. That was an easy selection. Yeah.
A couple of forwards. It's always lots of D. It's like lots of depth D and some power play guys in that third bucket, which is great. That's the fun of it. Which is this power play D-man going to come through with the goal tonight? And that's the way I went with Noah Dobson, but Velarde, obviously a great choice from that bucket too. And we'll update the stats again next week. Hope everybody at home is playing along as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Zuby. All right, Raymond. So, I mean, aside from the game that you're doing in Colorado this Thursday evening, I mean, you're always super focused. You're ready. You're prepared. You're just fired up to get into it. But as you acknowledged on Tuesday, once you get done this game, you're on your holiday break.
Yes, I am. I've got this. This is it. I don't have any. The Canucks are out east, so I'm not on that trip, and I'm just at home. So I'm looking forward to it. Riley will be home for Christmas on the 17th, and he's home from college for a month. So we're looking forward to that, and just be family catch-up time. Good stuff ahead. Looking forward to it.
Any golf simulator stuff or anything like that?
No, you know what? I thought I was going to get a chance to play 9 holes, but we're in what's called an atmospheric river this week, and not good. Not good at all. So we'll not be doing that, and just hope everybody's safe around home. It's actually pretty messy. It's pretty messy. So we'll get back home. You and I are going to talk this weekend, figure out this Olympic team stuff.
Yeah.
And I got a couple guys I know will not be on it. I got a couple guys I know will be on it, and then we'll see if we match up. And so it'll be fun to put together.
Sounds good, buddy. I look forward to it.
Enjoy, shovel your snow, Dregs, and we'll talk soon. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes, and thank you to our sponsors who continue to support the Ray and Dregs podcast. Our title sponsor, Tim Hortons, thank you, and thank you to the Canadian Brew House. Until next week, stay safe, everybody.